Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee in Hand. I'm your host, Erica Lamberto, and I'm excited to welcome you to our first podcast of the new year, 2026. Today with me, I have Carly Steet Mathias. She is the Marketing and Communications Manager of the Steet Ponte Auto Group. Carly, I'm so excited to have you with me today.
For having me. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. How was your holiday season first?
Chaotic, but
Yeah.
fun.
I feel like
Little kids,
yeah, with kids. Do you guys do the Elf on the Shelf?
Yes. I personally love it, so
Yeah.
I get so into it. It's fun.
Yeah, I feel like for us too, it's TikTok was like a game changer for me this year because there were so many good ideas that I was able to reference, and
Yeah.
I was like, that saved me on a couple nights where I like all of a sudden it was like super late, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the Elf!
Yes, I know.
I'm like, we need to do that right now. So that's like that was something that really helped me out. So
Yep.
for next year, if you need any tips or tricks,
I'll be stealing
TikTok,
some, I know.
yeah, helped me out a lot. So I want to start by you sharing a little bit of your family history of your business.
Yeah. So, it was started with our used car store, United Auto Sales. My grandfather and his brother started it. They started wholesaling. It began in 1945. So it started down on Oriskany Street. It is currently now, I think, the Beach Agency. It's an insurance agency. It used to be A to Z Auto, but that was the original United location. And then in the 70s, they moved up to Commercial Drive. So that was kind of like the big game changer for them, moving up where all the other car dealerships were. My dad always worked in the business and then ended up helping out a ton. My grandfather needed a surgery, so then kind of after school, my dad just seamlessly kind of went into it. So yeah, he ran it with alongside my grandfather and great uncle until they both passed away, and then it was his. But in between then, he always saw the Toyota store across the street. It was Hoff Toyota at the time. And he always said he wanted a new car store and he wanted that Toyota store he wanted that. And he finally found a partner, Steve Ponte Sr., and they partnered up and purchased Steet Toyota. And then it was kind of snowballed from there.
That's awesome.
Yep. I know, it was cool. I think it was 95 actually. So, yeah, we just celebrated the 30th anniversary of the Toyota store
Wow,
last year, so
that's incredible.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, I know, it was fun. It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know you initially, when you first went to college, you had dreams of being a lawyer. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And you did end up getting a degree as a paralegal?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I know. So I went to Lemoyne College in Syracuse, and I remember reading they sent home, like, there was this big book about different majors and stuff, and initially, I had looked at public relations, and I saw that major, and I read it, and I was like, "This is it, like, this is what I wanna do," and I was talking about it with other people, and I stupidly just let people kinda sway me like, "Oh, well, you're not gonna get a PR job in this area or even, like, in Syr whatever," so I was like, "Oh, well, I don't know," kinda scared me. So I went in undeclared because I was like, "Well, now I don't know what I wanna do." I went in undeclared, and then a bunch of friends were, like, talking about law school, and I was like, "Yeah, maybe that sounds good." I really like researching and, things like that. So I, became an English major, which I loved, so that was great. Um, and, because I had talked to, like, your advisor and stuff, like, "Well, a lot of, law students, they have a background in English, you can kinda go into different,
Area.
areas if you want." So I did that, and then, I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be a lawyer, that's perfect." So, like, all through college, I was like, "Yep, that's perfect." I met a lawyer, she was local to the area, Kristen Shaheen. She had moved, my senior year of college, but we met at, like, a baby shower, it was a family friends, and she just in passing was like, "Oh, if you ever need anything, let me know." So that summer I was home from college, I just cold called her office and was like, "Could I have an internship?" And I remember talking to her paralegals, and they had no idea. They're like, "Who is this?" And I was like, "Oh, I met her at a baby shower. She said to call me." So I remember she called me back, and she's like, "Yeah, I have to say," she's like, "that took guts to just call. So, yeah, stop in." So I was like, "Great." So I worked for her all through college. I loved it. I loved the research part of it. She was a family law lawyer, so I just kinda liked going into that. And then, kinda my senior year, it was kinda hitting me like, "Okay, well, I'm actually graduating, like, what are we gonna do?" I took the LSATs, I got into a law school in Florida, and we went down to visit and everything, and I saw everyone studying for the LSATs, and I was like, "I can't do this, like, I don't wanna do this." They all looked miserable too, but obviously, like, you're
Right.
studying for a giant test, but I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't wanna do it. So I broke the news to my parents, and that was difficult because they were like, "Where is this coming from?" But in the meantime, my senior year too, I had taken a couple electives, a PR course and a film course, and they had my one professor had referred me to, it was a PR firm in Syracuse that was having internships.
Okay.
So I interviewed with her and kinda got the ball rolling there, ended up taking a year off. So that's when I got my paralegal degree because my dad was like, "At least if you get this, like, this could be your buffer, like, if you decide to
Right.
go to law school later, you can at
Like,
least
if you
have."
change your mind.
Yes, like, you'll have this knowledge. So, like, okay. So I ended up doing that while I studied for the GREs and, applied to grad school, and I was like, "Yeah, this is what I wanna do overall." So, yeah, it was a crazy journey, but it
Yeah.
was good, I know.
I feel like a lot of times, though, especially when you graduate from high school, it's like you have one idea in your mind or something you've always,
Yes.
like, dreamed of, right? Like, as
Yes.
you're, like, growing up as a kid,
Right.
you get something set in your mind where you're
Yep.
like, "This is what I wanna do when I grow up."
Exactly.
But once you get on that path, like, sometimes you discover, like, you don't have the passion for that anymore, your
Exactly.
heart's
That
not
was
in it.
yes, that was it, and I was like and then once I dabbled with, like, other little things in PR or just, like, even that one film course, it was something different, and I was like, I kinda like this more. Um, but yeah, then I ended up during my year off, I ended up working for the Children's Miracle Network out of Faxton Hospital,
Oh, that's
and they're
incredible.
doing all their events and the PR department at the hospital, and that really, like, fully solidified. I was writing press releases, setting up for events. I'm like, "This is exactly what I want to do." So, but yeah, I agree, like, when you're so young, sometimes I look back and I'm like, "Oh, if I had taken a year off after high school, maybe that would have, like, allowed me to
Helped it.
figure it out more," but it all works out, the way it does.
Absolutely. For you, you grew up knowing about your family business. What was like the turning point for you where you decided that you wanted to like join the family business and be a part of that for your career?
It was later. My brother always knew, probably from the time he was, like, 5 years old. He just always knew, and, like, there was my parents even were like, "You can, work anywhere else," and he was like, "No, this is what I wanna do." And I was like, I don't know." I didn't think there was really a space for, like, I don't know, not necessarily for me there, because man was like, "Hey, it's always here
Right.
if you want, to work here, it's always here." But I don't know, just I couldn't see myself, like, selling cars, or working in, like, the finance department. That didn't really fit for what I thought I wanted. But then it was after I graduated from grad school, and I had been working down in White Plains for a while, and then I graduated from there. I met my husband, um, and, I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna move back home." And then I was looking for different jobs in the area and then just kinda browsing on our own websites, and that's kinda where it all went full circle. I was like, "Wait, I could help here." So so yeah, we had, like, no social media presence. There was I think a couple of the stores had a Facebook page, and yeah, just the websites were
Just
kind of a
saw a need.
mess. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay, this is what I can do. Like,
You're like, I
this is
can
how I
fix
can."
this.
Yes, yep. So, yeah, I laid out a whole PR plan for my dad and Steve Senior and showed them like, "Okay, how about we create this position, and this
Right.
is what I can do. Here's how I can make everything, flow better," and that's when it all started.
And that's awesome
Yeah,
that
it's
you're
fun.
able. I was gonna ask you, obviously, the car industry is, like, a mostly, like, male-dominated
Yeah.
industry. Do you feel like as a female coming into that, did you feel like you had any, like, obstacles to overcome as far as, like, gaining the respect of, like, your male peers or just in general? Like, do you feel like you faced any, like, difficulties with that?
Yeah, I would say not necessarily like within our stores. I grew up I worked at our Toyota store, even though I worked other places in the area. I always still worked at the Toyota store, just like, part time or whatever. So I think that helped everyone, I knew a lot of people. So like within our group, not necessarily, but outside of it, with like different automotive companies or vendors or manufacturer reps, that was definitely hard because it's changed over, I have to say. The past probably 5 years or so, there's definitely a lot more females, which is so refreshing.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, it was definitely hard. Just even, like they'd ask me a question and I'd give my answer, like my professional opinion, and then they'd ask like my brother the same thing and go with, not that he would have a different answer, but
Right.
it'd be like, "Oh, okay, right." So, yeah.
Yeah. I think the reason why I was asking that is because even for me, just as a co-owner, like, of a business
Yeah.
with my husband, I've encountered, different, questions and kind of, like, not an attitude, but, like,
Right.
just, like, people have been, like, come up to me and been like, "Oh, is there anything else you do for work?"
Right. Right.
And whereas for my husband, I'm like, no one would ever ask
Right.
him,
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
because when we first opened, my son was 5 months old.
Okay.
So, I
It's crazy.
we I know when we started out, I was at the coffee shop, but I was also, balancing, like,
Right.
having an infant at home,
Right.
and so people didn't see me here as often, and still,
Exactly.
like, my
Yes.
husband is here more often than I am,
Right.
and so, it's been, for me, kind
Right.
of like a struggle of, first of all, you have
I'm
mom
here
guilt.
too.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
You have the
Yeah.
mom guilt, like, being away from your
Mhm.
kids is one thing, but also feeling like, "Am I doing enough? Am I good enough?" Because people are questioning, it's like I'm a full-time mom and a full-time business owner, and people are still asking, like, "Well, what else do you do?"
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Like, just, like, that internal struggle.
Because since you are a co-owner, you can just, like, leave.
Right.
It's like, "Well,
Or,
I
like,
still have things
thinking
that I have to
yes.
do for this." Yeah.
Or, like, thinking that you have, like, full control of your schedule, which you
Yes.
do to an extent, but also, like,
It's a
if
big
people
misconception.
yes, if
Mhm.
people, staffing or someone calls out, it's like you
Right.
you fill in,
Right.
and it's like that's you and your me and my
Exactly.
husband,
Yes. Yeah.
filling in those gaps, so but, yeah, so that's something for me, that's why I was just curious about that,
Yeah.
because I know for me, even though, we have the same title, we have the same role,
Right.
and we're partners in this, there were some people that, saw me differently than they viewed
Right.
my
Right.
husband, or be like, if they would come in, they'd be like, "Oh, you giving your husband the day off today?"
Yes. Yes.
And it's like, well,
Yeah. Exactly.
we're partners, like, one of us, whoever is at the coffee shop, the other
Balance.
person's,
Yes.
home watching the kids.
Right.
It's like, so that's just something, like, I had to struggle with, so I just,
Yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I'll get that a lot too. Or like, since my job is predominantly online, it's like, "Oh, well, you can just do that at home." And I'm like, I mean, yes, but,
yeah.
like, I still need to be at the stores, or, like, yes, okay, like, if the kids are sick or something, well, I'm staying home because my job
Mhm.
is more flexible than my husband's, and there's been
Right.
times where I'm like, he's definitely filled in, he's been great, but, like, I think people are like, "Oh, well, it doesn't matter for you because you can just do that at home." It's like, "Well, I still have things to do," Like, it's just yeah, it is
Yeah. I think,
balance.
yeah, just, like, too, it's like the job duties you do, it's like
Yeah.
it is important to Be
Be there.
be there,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
and, like, interact with people,
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. It's so tough.
One thing too I've noticed that you do an amazing job at is you guys do so much for the community and with the community, and I just kinda wanted to talk about what kind of your personal inspiration has been with that, and if you have any, like, upcoming initiatives or anything you're, like, excited
Yeah.
about and wanna share.
We, it's funny. So we always did, even like when I was, 14 and working at the Toyota store, we always did little things like Toys for Tots or whatever, but it was never really like cohesive. So it was just like, we never really had a plan. So, like, if something came up, sure, we'll do that. We'll do this. So it was kind of well, like, I think too, part of like my background with the Children's Miracle Network, that really kind of fueled it because I really liked the nonprofit part of like just giving back. It felt awesome. Like they do the home makeover thing, the giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
So I remember we pulled the name on air and they announced the winner and we tried calling and they didn't answer. So we all went to her house and it was so much fun. I'm like, wait, this might not whatever. This might look
Did you
crazy.
have, like, the cameras and everything, or was it just, like
We did. I don't even know. This was like 2012. No, it had to been like 2010 or 2011. But there was like 6 of us. And because normally after we pulled the winner, it was like a big like newscast thing. We all would go out to dinner after. So it was before we went to dinner, we're like, let's go. So we all went to this lady's house and she was so thrilled. Like, obviously, it's awesome. We had all these other events where like you saw the impact of like the children recipient of, whatever services they needed. So that and then I also For a time, I had worked for Revlon, the makeup company in the city, and they had obviously gotten tons of requests, for like, donations or whatever. So they had narrowed it down to just like women's services. So if it aligned with that, then they would donate, money or makeup. Like they did a lot of proms and things like that. So when I started, I was like, all right, we need a plan. Either we're doing it, like we're setting a set budget, or it's something like, okay, what's like our niche here. So it's kind of been we we kind of go in the line of more like children's and like family service type things. And that's kind of how it all like formed with the holiday giving events. It's just kind of like one after the next. We did the backpack drive. It's been I think 2 years since we did that. Um, we did the coat drive, so we all I kinda made them go in order. So, we started with the longest one we did was the Adopt a Family drive. So, back to, like, when we did Toys for Tots, a lot of the stores as a Christmas gift to my dad and Steve would be that they would collect money and then they'd like adopt a family from a local school, or if there was a house fire or something, then they'd give, Christmas gifts or whatever for their holiday gift. So we had been doing that forever. So I'm like, okay, let's start with that. That's December. And then my parents actually were the ones that thought of the coat drive. So then I think it's been like 8 years for that. So yeah, so we did that. And then the first year we did that, it was like December or November, I think. But we had the food drive, and then I was like, let's space this out. Also, give people time to buy coats, and then if you get them in October, then they can have them when it starts to get cold. So yeah, just kind of I don't know, mixed together from all of it, just from the background with the nonprofit, and then finding kind of like a niche of how we're gonna, I don't know.
Facilitate
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. So I know it's kind of flowed from there.
I feel like it's, like, so rewarding. I know one of my greatest joys as, like, a business owner is, like, our ability to, like, give back and, like, work with other organizations in the
Yes.
community and just to, like, see how that, like, impact that pay it
Yes.
forward is
Exactly.
so meaningful, and it's like it's touching people's lives in a way that's, like, so important. Like, if you can do that as a company and with your presence and to use your voice
Yeah.
to, get people to help give and make that happen, I think that's so admirable and just amazing to be able to do that.
Yeah, I know, it really is. Even if it's like, I don't know, youth sports teams or something, just donating money so they can have equipment. Or if it's someone who doesn't have, sneakers, then I've heard of a lot of coaches that are paying for, the kids' sneakers like out of their own pocket. So yeah, yeah.
Like, just being able to help, like,
Yes.
kind
Yep.
of like you were saying, like, finding those niche things and, like,
Yep.
just being able to help kind of, like, drop in and take care of that for them
Yes.
because 'cause they're not paying for that out of pocket
Yep.
or.
Yep. I know. So I know. I don't think as far as new stuff for this year, we I know there's one thing. My dad has always wanted to give away a car,
Oh
but
my
we have
gosh,
not
yeah,
figured out how exactly to do that. We've come up with, like, a bunch of different ideas over the years.
right?
It's so tough.
Do, like, a joint event here at Calabria, and we'll just do, like, a big, like, one day, like, or a week
Yes.
thing, and we'll have, like, a giant box that people can, like, drop their name into.
Name, I know, because that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. Someone had given us the idea of doing like, connecting with like a graduating senior from schools.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, doing a certain GPA or something like that, and then but it's just so hard. We did a snow tire giveaway one year, and we just had a form on our website, and you had to nominate someone and say why you were nominated, like, why you think they should
Mhm.
get snow tires, and we had a bunch of people, and we narrowed it down to 4 that had, like, fully like, a lot of people just were like, "Oh, it would be great," but there were a lot of actual stories, and then we just gave away all 4 people. We were supposed to only give away 1 set. We gave away it's like, how do you pick? It's so hard.
You're like, all these stories are, like, very touching, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Yes."
it's like a commuter, like a nurse, she works nights and, a single parent. It's like, "Okay, you all get the snow tires."
Yeah, you're
So
like, "Just one for all of you."
I know, that's the thing. I'm like, "I don't know how we could do it with a car," but
Right.
I
I
know.
know, I feel like you'd have to maybe do something where it was, like, more of, like, a random, like,
Yeah,
giveaway because, yeah, how do you
I know.
choose a person? Because it's
Exactly.
like, there's so much that people are going through, and it's like you just don't know, you
Yeah,
know?
I know. How would it be fair?
Yes.
Yeah.
N On the note of, you're in the car industry, do you have, like, a favorite type of car? Like, do you feel like you're a car girl, or was that not necessarily like
I know, it's so hard. I
thing?
feel like it's a thing because we're around them so much that for me, I'm just like I don't know, they all are really great. They all have really cool features. In the summer, I drive a Beetle, so I'm partial to the
Nice.
Beetles. I do love so I would say, like, those are, like, my favorite,
Yeah,
just because 'cause they're fun, and
they
it's
are
really I
fun.
drive an SUV, so driving that and just finding a parking spot is so much easier than
Yes,
the big SUV, the big mom car,
right.
but yeah, I know, I think I don't know, as far as favorites, it kinda just depends too on what's new and what comes out or,
Yes.
like, the new colors or something, so
I know I grew up my dad was always, like, very into cars, like, that was,
okay.
like, his thing, so I grew up I could tell you any, like, car that
That's
drove by,
awesome.
like, the model, the
Oh,
make, I'm like so
yep.
that's why I was like, I'm, like, a total car girl, and
That's
it's like,
cool.
I wonder
Yep,
if she's the same, like,
I
if
know.
she's, like, I mean, obviously, like you said,
Yeah.
it's like, you grow up around
Yes,
it, you
yeah.
see,
Like,
like,
when
all the different
yeah.
cars
It's
and
funny because like, when it comes to me driving, I'm like, "Whatever, as long as it drives." As
right? You're like,
if it's a
"I'm
passenger
good."
seat's great,
Good.
like yeah. So, I know, but yeah, there are some cool ones. I have to say the Beetle probably is my favorite. They did the Volkswagen, they redesigned the bus, the VW bus, so it's the Buzz
Awesome.
now. It
Oh,
is
that's
really cool.
cool.
I love it. It comes in, like, all these funky colors, and I think people are kind of, I don't know, hesitant on it because it's like there's, like, an electric blue and there's a bright orange. I
It's
love it.
fun, like, it's
Yeah.
fun and retro. It's,
Yes.
like, more retro.
Yes, and it's, like, beautiful inside. There's great features in it, but yeah, it's
Yeah. Again, maybe more for a niche
yes,
type of a
yes,
driver.
yep.
It's so funny because, when was in high school, my original, like, dream car was, like, the Beetle Bug. Like, my grandma is or she's passed, but she was an artist, and
Oh,
she
cool.
actually, like, painted me, like, a yellow, like,
So
Beetle Bug, like, in a painting because
oh,
at the time, that was,
yeah,
like, my dream car,
that's
and so
cool.
she, like, actually, like, put it on
That's so
a
cool.
painting for me.
Awesome. No, I actually have a I have a statement ring. It's a beetle, and it's a
Oh
yellow
my
one.
god,
Yeah, my
that's
daughter
so
loves it. She
funny.
steals it out of my jewelry box all the
Yeah,
time.
I know, it's so funny. So obviously being a working mom and having, 2 young kids, I know it's, like, never a perfect balance, but what is something, like, that you enjoy doing outside of, being a marketing
Yeah,
and
yeah.
communications manager and
Honestly, I don't know, kind of a lot of things. Like, I recently, started getting back into yoga and Pilates, so I'm really like, "That's very calming."
Yes.
Um, but even just little things, if I can get out on a walk, like if I can get our dog out, take him out for a walk, it's just like, quiet time. But my family has a camp in Indian Lake in the Adirondacks, so we really like going up there. I appreciate it more and more now that as we get older,
Yes.
the kids love it up there. So it's just, I don't know, being able to do that and just relax and not have to worry about anything. And
Just being able
summertime,
to slow down,
yes, making s'mores, yeah.
all the, like, nostalgic, like,
Yes.
things.
Yep, yeah, and it's very spotty cell they actually did not have cell service up until maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So which I hated as a kid, but now is like, "Yep, please don't give me any
Yeah,
cell service,
yeah.
no Wi-Fi, great,
You're
fantastic."
like, "I can't reply to work emails if I, like, don't have
Sorry.
Wi-Fi."
Yes, yeah, it really is like a true break, so I know, it is nice.
And, like, just being able to, like, share traditions, like, with your kids that
Exactly,
you probably,
yes.
like, grew up doing with your
Yeah, yeah,
family and
yep.
now, like, the next generation, right? Like,
Yes, yeah,
being
I
able to
know,
share that with
it's
them.
funny, I know, and there's even, like, things that we just never did. It's like, why didn't we ever do this as a kid? Like, why didn't we ever check this out? So we did a garnet mine tour, um, this past summer, actually. So yeah, we'd gotten it for my dad's birthday. We're like, let's all go. It was really cool. It was like 20 minutes from our camp. It was a lot of fun. So I know, just little things like that, just finding more places to explore. Yeah.
And I know you said you were the one who, like, kind of launched and took over, like, the website and social media for, your family's company. So where can people find you, on social media?
So me, you can find me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on there. Instagram, but that's kind of more private. But Facebook. So yeah, I'm on there. I'm not personally on TikTok. The auto group is.
Okay.
So you can find us there. I'm not doing any TikTok dances, but no, you might see me doing.
Right, like, maybe.
I'll do them. Yeah.
I posted actually with Esley, my daughter.
Mhm.
She wanted to do because they see all, like, the
Yes.
videos online, And so we had talked like a year ago about there was this cute video of like this mom and daughter that went to get coffee and yes. So she had been asking for a while, like, Mommy, can I do a video with you? So on the Calabria page you can find like it was on TikTok and, Instagram Reels, and she was so excited to do it with me. So she might, maybe your daughter will pop into one with you. It'll like motivate you to do that.
Yes. I know. They'd love it.
Right? And before we go, I ask all my guests, what's your go-to coffee drink?
So, I usually like a cold brew even if it's cold out. If it could be
I'm the
like
same
I
way.
don't know, I don't know why. Or I just like regular cappuccino. I've always loved it since I was younger.
Just like a foamy,
Yes, yeah.
frothy. It's like a very comforting.
It is,
It's
I
very
know.
comforting, like just traditional
I feel
coffee
like
drink.
too, when I was younger, I ordered one because I thought it sounded really fancy, and I actually just really liked it, and now it's my go-to.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me
Having
today.
me.
I loved hearing more about your family story and the
Thanks,
history
yeah.
behind the business. And, I appreciate you being on here. And
Thanks.
yeah, thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone, for listening. And we'll catch you next month.